Hello and welcome to the Queber channel. I am Jason, your host. I wanted to post this video to just explain what I'm planning for the future. It's becoming very clear that the government is going to do all it can to remove as many people on disability as possible. And that's quite scary for me. Yes, it might not take a while to come in, but at the same time, I am not a lazy person. There's a big difference between being lazy and not being able to, because of my disabilities, do a normal job. I am someone who, when Paola was ill, I spent almost 20 years, 19 years, looking after her from 6 a.m. till midnight every day. No respite, no break. How could I do that? Because she was my focus, she was my anchor. She was my love, because she was my safe space. No normal job will ever give me that. I also damaged my mental processes massively in doing all that, in looking after someone and watching them die slowly over time. That did a lot of damage to me, unfortunately. But I don't regret it. I have many limitations. Leaving the house is extremely hard. The only time I can leave the house is when I go out on my mobility scooter. I can't leave my mobility scooter while I'm out there because I would become frozen in place, catatonic, or even worse. I can't do a job that needs to be to a specific long-term schedule. Day-long schedule. I can't try to work away from home, because how would I get there? How would I actually survive the journey to the place when my brain can't handle strangers, when my brain can't handle strange places and gets distracted so easily? Unless there was someone to actually walk me to work, like a kid going to school, and hold my hand, it wouldn't work. And then at work, I'd have to be in a situation where I wasn't dealing with strangers, and people would have to understand that everything they tell me may just disappear from my head if there's an interesting looking paperclip on the table. So these are the things I can't do. But that isn't what the focus of this is. The focus is, I need to go down and get a drink in a minute. My water's empty. I didn't realise that. But the thing is, what can I do? Well, streaming has always been a hobby of mine. And right at the start, in 2019, it was the only thing that kept me alive. If you look back, I'm going to re-upload some of my old streams from back then. In 2019, I basically spent 10 hours a day streaming, because that was 10 hours a day that I wasn't just killed in a ball and crying every day. Those days, those times I spent playing The Division Part 2 and Part 1, those days I'd basically wake up, come online, do a 3-4 hour stream, eat something, then come back on, do another stream, then come back on, do another stream, then go to bed. That wasn't healthy for me, but it was the only thing that kept me functioning until I started to create lots of other different coping strategies like virtual reality and audible books and everything else that I brought in to balance things out. But how can I financially look after myself? Well, that's going to be a hard thing to do, but there is options that I believe honestly that I could cope with, and the first ones are the idea of setting up a Patreon with a simple tier. The first tier would be just anybody who wants to pay monthly and provide money. That would be, anybody can do that. I mean, I'd probably have it set about $2, £2 or something like that. The minimum amount, basically. A higher tier would be able to ask me to turn a story into an Audible book, or just to narrate a story, or sing their favourite song, or do poetry. Because there is a massive amount of the conditions would be, it would have to be public domain, so it would have to be old stuff, like the old Brothers Grimm stuff and everything like that, or original stuff. Well, original stuff is much harder to do. I would like to start doing that kind of thing. The stories would be interesting to me, and the singing, I love doing that kind of thing anyway. There's no more drink left. I have to go downstairs. So there's those options, and also if I increase my media presence, which has its own risks and problems, but if I do more of the streaming and that I'm bringing more people, there's a chance that all of these little things together, at the same time, allocate some time, some real time, to start writing books. Actually, let's put that in the proper perspective. To finish writing books. I think on my Google Documents, I believe I have 2 or 3 different books actually partially written that I've just forgotten about. That they're there though. And I just need to put in time every single few days or day, just an hour here, an hour there, just to write a chapter. That's one of the hardest things to do, is to do that first part where you actually remember to log in and actually write a little bit of stuff. There's all these things that hopefully in them all would allow me to scrimp by. Let's be completely honest. I am not a person who... I get very antsy when I've got money. I don't like having more money than I need. It bothers me. I'm happy to have enough money to pay for a little bit of technology, a little bit of games, and all the bills, and the dog food and everything like that, and to have nothing else there. To just do all that stuff, and then that's enough for me. It's always been enough for me. It bothers me if there's too much. So that's the plan going forward. The idea that I could do books on ADHD, on bipolar, on autism, on coping with cancer and looking after someone who's got cancer. I could have all this knowledge inside me, and if I could focus myself enough to actually put the time in, and I mean, it will be very hard, because this is all stuff that doesn't come natural to me. My brain is all over the place. But if I just create a little rhythm of work, this may be a way that I can solve the problems. Because at the moment, the more that is going on with the government, the more stress it's causing to me, to do with disability and everything, the more concern I've got of getting a letter one day and having to go through another review. or them just basically telling me that I can't have my disability stuff anymore. I need to create a workable plan, a functional way to get past that. Now you'll probably notice that I've already reset up my restream, and that because when I do my streaming and that, I don't like to just stream to one place. I like to stream to YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter at the same time. That way everybody who knows me, even if I might have a few people on each platform who actually like me or want to know how things are going and that, so they can actually keep an eye on me. So that's the plan. Now I'm not going to rush this. I'm going to dip my feet into the pool of different things and just see what I can do and what's possible. I did a 3-hour stream today, which felt really nice. I know I won't be able to do it every day, but starting at 4 p.m. UK time is a good time, because it's 4 p.m. till 7 p.m. is like a zone that's usually nearly every day free for me except for Sunday. I'll talk about what's happening Sunday on another one, but yeah. So in the morning, I like to go out on the Quingo if it's a nice day. In the morning, I usually listen to my Audible books to help me stabilise my brain. The mornings is a more hectic time for my brain, and less likely I would do a stream. But spending 3 hours after 4 p.m, after I've fed the dogs, after the last meal of the day, it's probably that's the best chance I've got of doing it. I don't want to do it much later than that, but we'll try. We'll see if I can continue this and improve this and going forward. Games will always be random. I will never stick to one game. I can't stick to one game. It's impossible. I've tried that in the past with Bloons. I tried it with The Division. I tried it with EVE Online. My brain does not cope with that kind of thing. It cannot happen. So, unfortunately, that's a no. I will just pick lots of games, and I might start doing a community post once a month and say, hey, pick a game for me to play on the last Friday of the month. And if it's available and it isn't too expensive, and maybe even if I've already got it, then I will play that for try out a different game. I could even do a little spreadsheet online showing all the games I own, and then people could point out a game they want me to play. That's possible. But you've got to understand that my brain sometimes will want to play a specific game, and if that happens, then my brain will play a specific game. So this is Jason for the Quebec channel. Bye bye for now.